Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we will learn the slope of linear equations. In the previous class, we were talking about the slope-intercept form of linear equations, and we said this form is y equals mx plus b, where the coefficient of x is called the slope of the line, and the constant b is called the y-intercept. So let's understand the slope of the straight line. So the slope of straight line is simply the degree of inclination of the straight line, or the change in the value of y brought about by a 1 unit increase in the value of x. So it's the slope, we can write it as the change in y divided by the change in x, or sometimes we use the symbol delta y by delta x. So the slope might be 0, it might be a positive number, it might be a negative number, or even it might be an undefined number. Okay? So the slope will be 0 if the graph of the line is horizontal, like this red colored line. So if this is the coordinate system and this red colored line, the horizontal line, then the slope equals to 0. Slope equals 0 means no inclination. There's no inclination between the line and the x-axis. We call it horizontal line. So any horizontal line has a slope of 0. The y value here will be the intercept point, or the y-intercept point, which has a coordinate of 2, 0, and 2. X coordinate is 0 and y coordinate is 2. So the interception point will be at y equals 2. Okay? Now, this line, the blue colored one, has a positive slope. Why? Because as x increases, y is also increases. So the ratio between delta y and delta x, that is the slope, is a positive number. So the inclination here, or the angle between the line and the x-axis, is less than 90 degrees. So always, if the line has an inclination of an angle that is less than 90 degrees, then the slope will be a positive number. Now, if the line has an inclination with an angle that is more than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees, then the slope of the line is a negative number. Why? Because as x is increasing, y is decreasing. You increase x, but the value of y is decreasing. So the ratio between delta y and delta x, the change in y and the change in x, is a negative number. So the slope of the line will be a negative number. Now, if the line is vertical, means x is constant, does not change. You change y, but x remains constant. There is an inclination of 90 degrees. So the angle between the line that is drawn here in green color and the x-axis is 90 degrees. So this kind of line has an undefined slope. So the slope is undefined. Okay. So this graph will summarize the sign of the slopes. So if the line is horizontal, the slope is 0. If the line is making an angle less than 90 degrees with the x-axis, then the slope is positive. If the line is making an angle of more than 90 degrees, then the line has a negative slope. If the line is vertical, then the slope is undefined. What does it mean to say m, that is the slope, equals positive 3? It means that as x increases 1 unit, y increases 3 units. So this is the meaning of the slope. So the ratio between the increase or the change in y and the change in x is 3. So sometimes we will say delta y by delta x equals to 3. Okay. Sometimes we say delta y by delta x, that is the slope. This symbol is the Greek symbol. We read it delta. So what is the change in y? Y changed from 1 to 3, from 0 to 3. So the change here is 3 minus 0. And the change in x changed from minus 1 to 0. So increased from minus 1 to 0. So 0 minus minus 1. So it will be 3 over 1. That is positive 3. So the slope is 3. So when x is changed from minus 1 to 0, the y value changed from 0 to 3. So always you can use this relation to calculate the change in y and change in x. The ratio between them, that is the slope. So increasing x by 1 unit, y will increase by 3 units. What does it mean to say the slope is minus 2? It means that increasing x by 1 unit, you will decrease y by 1 unit. Decrease is going down. What is the slope of this line and what is its equation? Well, you can see from the graph here, the change in y is given as 2 units. The change in x is given as 1 unit. So the slope, you just divide 2 by 1. The change in y divided by the change in x. So we can say the slope, we use the symbol m for the slope, equals delta y by delta x. So the change here is in y 2 units for each 1 unit change in x. So if x is changed 1 unit, if x increased from 2 to 3, y will be increased from 1 to 3. So this is the slope. Now if you want to write the equation, well, we have to find the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept b is minus 3, right? Here is the y-intercept. So the equation says y equals m multiplied by x plus b. So we have to use this form, which is the slope-intercept form. Then you just need to write the value of m. You obtain 2x minus 3. So this will be the equation of the line graphed here. This is the way we find the equation of the line, okay? Here, what is the slope? Well, we will say the slope equals the change in y divided by change in x. The change in y is 2, and the change in x is 3. So as you change x from 2 to 5, 3 units, y is dropping from 3 to 1. Okay? So the change in y is 2, the change in x is 1. So this is the slope. The y-intercept, which is we use the symbol b for that, right? So b is equivalent to 4. So the equation will be y equals 2 over 3 multiplied by x plus 4. So this is the equation of this line. Here the same thing. You need to find the slope. Okay, so the slope here. First, let me find delta y, because it's not written on the graph. So what is delta y? If we change x from this point to this point, you increase x. What happened to the y? Y is going up. Okay, so x is changed this point to this point. Okay, what you do is you can find the coordinates of these 2 points. This point has a coordinate of -5 and 0, and this point has the coordinates of 0 and 10. Okay, so what you need to do is you find delta y. Delta y, the difference between y, yeah, you can call this point x1, y1. You can call this point x2, y2. So always, if you want to find the change, you have to find, or to delta y equals y2 minus y1. So y2 is 10, minus 0 is 10. So delta y is 10. Delta x will be x2 minus x1. That is, x2 is 0 minus 5. See the final value, which is 0 minus the initial value, that is -5. So this will be 0 minus -5 is 0 plus 5, that is 5. So the slope will be delta y divided by delta x. That is 10 divided by 5, which is 2. So the slope is 2. And now the y-intercept, what is the y-intercept? This is the y-intercept, 10, okay? The value of y at the intersection point between the line and the y-axis is 10. So the equation here will be mx plus b. That is, m is 2, x plus 10. So this is the equation of the line, and this is the solution of this question. How about this one? I will leave this one for you at home. You can solve it and determine the slope and the equation of this line. Okay, I think that's it for this topic, and then I will see you in the class to discuss further if there is any question. Okay, see you. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.